Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is May the 24th, 2021, and today the topic is spiritual poverty. Well, give you guys an update. You guys know that Saturday and Sunday just went by, and so a quick summary of my weekend. I didn't do too much on Saturday, just pretty much chilled with my boys. Finally gave myself a mani-pedi. For those of you all that are watching me live, you guys can check me out, you know what I'm saying? I got interesting commentary about it, because it's like black and white and stripes and whatnot. People were like, oh, Cruella de Vil, or some was like, it reminds me of Beetlejuice. I don't know, I guess I just was in a stripes mood, so I just decided to do this little mani-pedi situation. But anyway, I did that. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much what Saturday was like. Oh, well, yeah, aside from my husband wanting to make all kinds of little creations in the kitchen. He made some type of salad where he chopped it all the way up finally. Then he made well, I would say his signature salad is this cucumber, tomato, onion salad situation that he's made since I met him. And I don't know if I've ever tried it before him. I'm trying to remember if I have, but I can't remember. So anyway, so I say it's his signature salad, so he made that too. And then made some tuna and all this stuff. So it was like so many different things. And then apparently he kept it going yesterday, because he finally got this. It's like this over the stove hibachi type situation, something like that. And so he's been very excited about getting it. I wanted to try to give it to him for Father's Day, but he beat me to the punch. But then again, he's that, essential worker. So, he just got it like that. You know what I mean? I have to acquire the funds to get things. But anyway, I'm glad that he was able to, get something that he wanted and to enjoy it and everything like that. So that was Saturday, and I guess his Sunday. But for me and NJ, we went out to go celebrate my sister at her open house for her school, Anchored Phlebotomy Institute. Man, I'm so proud of her. Like, who knew, right? Like, who knew that she would be opening up a school? That is an amazing accomplishment, and so I definitely had to get down there to celebrate her. I was trying to figure out what I was going to give her, because I know people were giving donations and all this stuff. I'm like, goodness, what do I want to give? I'm like, yeah, I could just give money, but what could I give? So I ended up thinking about our cousin. I know you guys are like, what? My cousin, the filmmaker that I told you guys about, I ended up curating him to come, and I'm using all these words. I probably did not use that right. But anyway, I ended up hiring him basically to come out and document the festivities yesterday, as well as just get some footage or whatnot. And an amazing thing was, like, one of my sister's former students, when she used to teach at another school, she actually came through and gave her a gift and all this stuff, but she also blessed her with her testimony for the video. So to hear this lady speak about how my sister helped her and blessed her by just being who she is, I don't know, it almost brought a tear to my eye. I'm not gonna lie, man. I was like, man, see how God works, like, through people, for other people. It's just amazing to see what God does and how God do things. But and now, that she's opening up her own school, the lady was just so proud of her and everything as well, because I guess she knows what she went through at the previous place. So, and then, like I was saying to the lady, sometimes things happen to push us into our greatness, right? To push us into where we need to be. And so, I guess those things at the former place had to happen for my sister to then eventually get to the place where she is now, opening up her own school, and providing an opportunity for people like us or whatever, or people in our own community or whatever the case is. And so yeah, I mean, I pray for her. I pray for many more blessings. And, I thank and praise God for everybody that came through and also those that showed love online as well. I did post up some photos on my Instagram, so you guys can check that out. And please, by all means, if you check it out on Instagram, go ahead and swipe right and listen to her testimony and her vision for the school. And she also did a little prayer and whatnot. I got a video of that, and so you guys can check that out on my Instagram, Actress Miracle Sims, as well as all the all the pages. It is up on God, Sex, and Love page and everything like that. And if you know me personally, it's on my personal page as well. Shout out to whoever's watching me live. Good morning. But yeah, so shout out to my sister, man. Anchored Phlebotomy Institute. If that's something that you're into, I'm hearing that there's some prospects, but she's only taking 6 students at a time right now. So you might want to get in where you fit in if that's something that you're interested in learning. Anchored Phlebotomy Institute. Go check it out on their Facebook and whatnot for all their information. But yeah, so that's what it was like yesterday. I tried to get all cute and stuff, man. I'm telling you guys this, man, because my feet was hurting afterwards. I was like, man, and the heels wasn't that high. I'm like, my goodness, but then again, I don't know. I guess I'm used to flats now. I'm used to but anywho. So I was debating about, when I woke up this morning, I was debating about whether I was going to do my routine, but I did. I went ahead and did it, and everything like that. So I did my full routine. Did my prayer meditation, and the prayer meditation was centered around the poor in spirit. And the more I heard that phrase, the more I was asking the question, what does that mean, poor in spirit? It's I know what spirit means, I know what poor means, but maybe I'm missing something here, X, Y, and Z. Because I've heard this phrase a lot. But I guess I really, really thought about it this morning, what does that mean? So, the verse that I'm referring to is Matthew 5:3. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So it's okay, the poor in spirit. I get it, but I don't. I get it, but I don't. So that's where I was. So I looked up the word poor, just to reiterate, just to make sure I knew what it meant. And it says, lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable and normal in a society. And then the second definition says, worse than usual, expected or desirable of a low or inferior standard or quality. So again, I'm reading the word poor and it's still not making sense, right? So I'm like, poor in spirit, what does this mean, poor in spirit? Because all of this is talking about financial, right? This is talking about financial and everything like that. And so I happened to Google the definition that I just read to you all, and so I decided to scroll a little bit, and every now and then they'll have additional information or additional things. So of course I saw what does poor mean in the Bible, and then I saw the phrase again, poor in spirit, and I saw this explanation, and it helps me understand it. It says, poor in spirit, people who recognize their own spiritual poverty, their need for God. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Got it. And then actually spiritual poverty stood out to me too when I was reading that. And that's why I ended up naming the episode Spiritual Poverty. I was going to name it Poor in Spirit, but I was like, let's go with Spiritual Poverty. It sounds good. Even though that sounds weird, right? So that sounds good. But I think y'all get my mindset. Anywho. But yeah, so how is this a good thing, right? Usually when you hear anything about poverty or being poor, any of this stuff, how is being spiritually poor a good thing? But again, I feel like that answers the question that what I just read you guys, that example answers that question. But let's check it out. Here's some more verses right here. So I ended up reading Psalm 51, 1 through 19. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'm going to read what stood out to me while I was reading it. And it says, "For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me." Yeah, that right there. It says, the whole thing about knowing or recognizing our own spiritual poverty and our need for God. A lot of people don't do that, right? I know I talked about that. I feel like I talk about it all the time. I talk about my testimony And I feel like that's the only thing that I see different between me and some other people that, and again, it's not trying to compare, but it's trying to just I guess show like, because for me, it's like when I talk to people, or if there's people that I'll try to encourage or whatever the case is, a lot of times they're not recognizing their own flaws, not recognizing their own issue. And then it's like, okay, well, if you don't see your own issue, then you can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, you got to be able to, recognize things within yourself that you might want to, you might need to change, or you might not want to, but you might need to, and things like that in order to grow and in order to, try to fix that thing. But if you can't recognize that, then it's like, okay, well, then, I mean, there's no growth, right? There's no, then you won't see any changes about, like, the way you live. So I don't know, that's just something that stood out to me this morning as I was reading this, and I was reminded of it and whatnot. Shout out to the 2 people that are watching me live right now. Good morning. But anywho, so another verse that stood out to me was Psalm 40:17. It says, "As for me, I am poor and needy, but the Lord takes thought for me. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, oh my God." Again, that's another verse. Someone is recognizing their own flaws. They're recognizing that they need God. And I guess this is ultimately the good thing, right? At the end of the day, it's a good thing to, I don't know, I go back to that word accountability. It's just a good thing to be accountable and to recognize that, okay, hey, I am a flawed human. I need God to make it. I need God to show me the way, or whatever the case is. I hope that encourages you and inspires you this morning to hear that hey, that's the first step to. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm reminded of a skit I did back in the day. But anyway, yeah, the first step to I believe any form of, like, getting better is to admit the problem, or to recognize it, and then from there you can learn, grow, and whatnot. Now James 4:6 says, "But he gives more grace, therefore it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." Well, I mean, if we want more grace, that's how you get it. Honestly, let me see. There was a verse that kept resonating in my mind, or my mind's all over the place now, sorry, but kept coming into my mind, and it's Romans 12:3. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to put it in the Go Deeper section. You guys can read it on your own, but I'm going to paraphrase a bit, and it's pretty much saying, like, we shouldn't think too much highly of ourselves than we should, something like that. But yeah, that's something to reflect on. Let marinate on our hearts, souls, and minds this morning. Yeah, that verse kept coming into my mind. But the Bible verse of today is John 20:21. It says, "Then said Jesus to them again, Peace be unto you, as my Father hath sent me, even so I send you." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hello, Charmers. Visit ttcboutique.com for the latest in fashion and accessories. Twice the Charm, the source of women clothing.